I'm running a little bit behind schedule today. Alright, so you guys, bear with me as I get things done. We're going to discuss. What am I discussing? Oh, we're going to discuss Trump and his antics and how you're going to deal with him. Here's the problem with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a bully. He's been a bully his entire life. He's had his father's money and his father's protectors around him his whole life. He's never had to stand up for himself. That's something most of us have had to do at one time or another. Sometimes we got our asses kicked, whatever. But we had to stand up for ourselves. Who here hasn't done that? If you haven't done it, then you're in Trump's class and you don't belong listening to these videos because you don't have any balls. All right? Now this video is late and I don't really, that's my problem. It's not yours. If you get to, I hope you get to watch it later. But this is a big deal with Donald Trump not being able to fight his own battles. All right, now you say, oh, he is. He's ordering. Did you hear what you just said? He is, but he's ordering. He's not standing out in front pushing somebody around. He was a coward. He didn't want to go in the draft. I didn't want to go in the draft, but I joined the National Guard just so I could serve my country. Trump didn't even want to do that. He got a deferment. You know what that deferment means? He didn't serve his country. And he's still not serving the country. All right? Now, cowards understand only one thing. Okay? If you're a bully and a coward, the only way you can beat a bully and a coward is by being a bully yourself sometimes. But I don't mean picking out little people. I mean standing up for yourself and fighting back. And the American people don't seem to be willing to do that. We'll say, we'll take them on at the polls. That's not going to work. And what are you going to wait till next year by the time he has his military in place all around the country and you're going to decide that you want to fight him? Look, there are ways you can beat him. And the thing about this is that his support from Putin and whatnot, then yes, Putin's supporting him because he wants this chaos, because this is the fall of the American dream. This is the fall of democracy. Okay? Russia beat fascism once before and they'll do it again. Trump hasn't got a chance. He's too stupid. He's not a military genius. He's not even a genius. He thinks he can walk around, shake his finger in your face and tell you, I have thousands of troops. No, you don't. You can't guarantee that every one of them is going to fight for you against Americans. You can guarantee they'll fight against communism or Russia or Cuba or something like that, but you can't guarantee that they're going to fight against fellow Americans. Okay? Nobody can guarantee that. I'm not going to stand here and say that I know some people that I can get to fight for us. No, that's bullshit. I don't know anybody that's going to fight for us against us. I want you to understand this, people. Okay? We're in a position now where he's leaving us very little choice. There's still a possibility that he can be negotiated that we can get rid of him through legal means, but that would require the Supreme Court and the Republican Party to stand up instead of bending over and kissing his ass or sucking his dick. All right? This is the way it has to be. We have to do this. We have to get our shit together. And at the present time, we don't have our shit together. I'm not a genius. I don't know how to handle a situation. I'm just saying what it looks like. I just understand what a bully is. I've faced bullies in my life. Twice. Okay? And I tried talking to him, and I tried walking away from him, and that didn't work, so I had to do what I didn't want to do, and I did it. And it worked. Will it work here? I don't know. Depends on the conviction of these people, you know. So that's me. I'm sitting here saying, telling you that this is not going to end in a way that we all hope it will. That it's a respectable way. It's just not going to do it. So what do? I don't know. Does anybody else have an idea what we're going to do? This is just a very, very bad situation we're going into right now, folks. I don't see a good way out of this. And I disagree with you that you're concentrating all your efforts on removing Trump. Removing Trump doesn't accomplish anything because you've still got the Millers, the Thiels, the J.D. Vances, the Hegseths, the Roberts, and all these other assholes there, you know. We'll impeach them all, one of my friends says, till we get somebody in there that... I don't want a Democrat in there. I don't want a Republican in there. I want a human being that knows what the fuck they're doing in there and that has some empathy. Democrats aren't necessarily the best solution to this. I'm not sure I want a politician in there at all. You know? I don't want a military general in there. They're good people, most of them, and most of them know how to... would be good, but the way they do things is more cut and dried. They're another group of people that don't see the gray in things, you know? They're like AI. They love it. They love AI, and that's what you're going to end up with. But Putin's just sitting back waiting. You know, France and England, they supplied the Confederacy, but their shipping lanes and shipping times were all well off. I think they could get supplies to people in this country a lot faster if we have a civil war. And I don't know which side they're going to take, you know. And I don't know whether the people fighting the Civil War would know which side to take. It's a really fucked up mess, people. And I just don't want to deal with it. You know? Hopefully I won't have to. Alright, what's going on? We got a good college football game tonight. University of Miami, which I tend to dislike strongly. Very strongly. And Indiana University, which I didn't even know they had that good a football team until this year. And they scored 80 points in their last two games. They're kind of like, you know, I think they can kick some ass. We'll have to wait and see what happens tonight. I'll be sitting there. You know, hopefully I'll get some popcorn someplace, but I doubt it. But I'll be sitting around watching the game. And, you know, hoping for a good outcome. I like Indiana because I don't like University of Miami. You know, I don't know what it is about them. You know. But yeah, this is, you know, these games aren't going to be... I'm not sure these games are honest anymore, even the college level games, because look at look stadiums. Players are getting paid. Stadiums are being named after casinos and what have you. This is just a really... it's no longer the game that you and I remember growing up. You know. It's no longer the game we played in high school. It's too much about money now, you know? It was about an education back then. Education meant money. Now it's not even about an education. You don't play high school football to get into college. You play high school football to get a job. You know? An excellent high school player is going to make more than a CEO is. So, you know, let's cut to the chase, all right? Players are getting paid for their personalities. Most of their personalities suck. These guys are all going to end up in trouble, or they're all going to end up broke at some point in time in their life. So it's not the game that we remember. But anyhow, I digress. I'm taking Indiana in the game. Don't know whether that'll happen or not, but, you know. And then we had the Rams win over Chicago last night, and that was just pretty much because that kid threw the game. That's a pass that he threw a pass at the end of the game, this quarterback for Chicago, that I wouldn't have thrown. You don't lead somebody when they're covered, you throw it to the right or left, you throw it over their head. The only guy that could have caught that ball was somebody from the other team. And that's too bad because it was his fault. He thinks it's somebody else's fault. No, it was his fault. So he cost him the game. That's the last straw there. Or the coach cost him the game. Gave him a pass play that the kid wasn't capable of completing. They were on the way to win the game, and instead they lost the game. You're going to tell me that that doesn't seem a little suspicious, that pass and whatnot? Oh, man. That's like in the Buffalo Bill game where they had the two pass interference calls, got 41 yards out of those pass interference plays to win the game. Dude, the referee controls the game. You know, were they real pass interference? I don't know. If they were, then the guys were idiots for doing that, you know? But that's this is pro football, pro cheaters. So anyhow, moving right along. Let me see if I can find something else to talk about for the moment. Oh, Trump is threatening the army and into Minnesota. You got all these things going on, and I don't know if anybody's going to pay attention to that, you know. But who knows? Let's go over here. This is what I wanted to do. Yeah. Trump is tying his Greenland bid with the failure to win the Nobel Prize. He says he no longer has an obligation for peace after threatening new tariffs on nations opposing takeover of the island. They're saying the standoff's going to get ugly fast, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Trump is just making some really stupid mistakes right now. But again, what's he trying to do? What's he trying to hide? And don't tell me the Epstein files, all right? Because everybody... My youngest nephew knows he's in the Epstein files, so who gives it? Nobody gives a shit about that. So let's get off of that. Let's get something that we can actually get him for, you know? The Kurds are going to take over Iran, and that's not any better. Even though that's just like, you know, Bin Laden was sort of supported by the U.S. when he was fighting in Afghanistan, and then he just wanted the military out, and they didn't leave, and that's the problem. Oh, the Bills fired their coach. How about that? Huh. Boy, there's a lot of coaches out of work. That's not a job I'd like, really. You know? Because you're only as good as your last play. Which is kind of stupid, but, you know, can have a winning season, you know. But that's like the coach before, a long-time coach that lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. I mean, he finally just gave up. You know, that was just, you know. Venus Williams, 45. Oldest person enter the Open, which she lost in the first round. That's a surprise. You know. She should stop playing tennis. Well, I shouldn't say stop. She should stop playing competitive tennis like that. You know, those big tours and whatnot. She's a draw right now. She's an oddity, you know. But she's taking somebody else's place, you know, by getting in there. So, you know. So what is everybody gonna do? You know, who knows? All right, we're out of this one. Okay, that's it for me today. Kind of weird, slow day, you know, but I'm tired. I gotta go do my live video, and I'll talk to you people tomorrow. So hit that subscribe button, please. It's good for the station. It's good for me. It's good for YouTube. It's good for everybody. Hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to you tomorrow.